All right, good evening and welcome to this Yoga for Recovery, Realization, and Resilience. My name is Brian, and I'm delighted to be with you this evening for this session that we're calling The Wave and the Ocean, from that famous meditation treatise that we are both the wave and the ocean. So our theme for today is to experiment with ourselves as being both the ocean that holds the wave and the wave that appears from the ocean and then returns to the ocean. So anyway, our opportunity today is to practice a little bit of centering and then activating breath work. We're going to do that to begin. And then we'll move to some movement practice that'll get us opening the spine and then the hips. Then we'll finish with a twist and then a nice integrated rest where we'll get a chance to find our space of absorption and union, perhaps. So altogether, we'll be here about 50 minutes, 55 minutes, give or take, depends on how things go. As always, remember our first guiding principle: support precedes action. So have your supports available to yourself. Whatever it is you need for your practice here: blocks, straps, bolsters, blankets, eye shades, a pillow, a cushion, maybe a chair if you wish to be in that mode, and we'll work from there. Um, and then make sure you avail yourself of those options. Remember that it is your practice. So while I will offer and suggest and invite some things from over here, they are simply that: offers and suggestions and invitations. You are in the privacy of your own space by design. And so I encourage and invite you to simply listen to the wisdom of your own body, give your body's wisdom the respect that it deserves by honoring it, and just do what's right for you. The only requirement for you is to be present and to breathe. So let us start by grounding and centering, raising gratitude and setting intention. We do that by first moving into a posture of support, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like for you. Take a moment to bring yourself into that. Come into this place, come into this space, come into the present moment by coming into the body, come into the body by coming into the breath. And then feel into your supports by finding whatever part of your body's in contact with something. Maybe your feet are flat on the floor, maybe the side of your legs or maybe your sits bones, your hip girdle is seated in a chair or on a cushion or on a mat. Maybe your back is up against the wall or down on the mat. Whatever part of your body is touching something, feel into that physical connection at that place in your body. And bring your awareness to that physical sensation of connection between your body and whatever it's touching as support. What is it like to be supported in this moment? And then imagine, if you can, that you're going to root down through those places of connection, through those supports, extending roots down into the earth beneath you so that you could lengthen through the side body, lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the crown. Tuck the chin down and up, turn the head side to side, feel the release at the back of the neck, and then find that full length of your spine from the base to the crown. And take a moment to just simply observe for yourself what happens in your system, in your body, when the spine elongates and aligns. And then gently holding your spine elongated and aligned, I invite you to begin to breathe in and out through your nostrils and follow your inhale with all of your awareness into your body, wherever it may go. No stress, no strain, no exertion, just breathing in. And then follow your exhale all the way out of your body, letting go completely, noticing what it feels like to release entirely in this moment, to surrender to release of all that is no longer needed. And then notice how the next inhale appears just when it's needed. Follow that inhale in and that exhale out. And as you settle into awareness of your breath, I'll invite you on your next inhale to float your hands to your heart in a way that brings awareness to your heart space, and to allow to arise in your heart space any one thing for which you are grateful, a sense of gratitude perhaps, maybe for you today, just the possibility of gratitude. And whatever it is that arises for you when gratitude is called forth, I invite you to see that clearly in your mind's eye and to anchor your gratitude there in your heart space and to hold it there for the duration of your practice today. And then finally, before we start, I'll invite you, if you choose, to set an intention for your practice, perhaps a simple intention to just be right there with each inhale, or to just keep your gratitude anchored. And whatever your intention is, I invite you now to state it to yourself. Hear yourself in your mind's ear as you state your intention in a clear and declarative voice, as if it is already done. And then as you listen for the echoes of your intention in your being, I invite you to take a full inhale. As you exhale, if you choose to allow your chin to drop to your grateful and intentional heart and offer a benediction to seal your intention as I say, Namo, Namaste. And then release your hands, lift the chin. Make any adjustment you need to your cross of your legs or to your seat to bring yourself into a place where you can be supported as we begin a little bit of breath. We're going to do a couple of breaths here. We're going to do a centering breath, a very simple, effective centering breath. And then we'll do a activating breath. And then we'll move from there. So finding ourselves in our supports, establishing ourselves in our seat, lengthening. We're going to do a breath I'm calling Sweet 16. We're going to take 16 breaths here. And we'll do it this way. We're going to inhale through the nostrils. And then we're going to exhale out the mouth. So we'll make a little rounding of the mouth like a big O. And then we'll just exhale out the mouth. So it'll look like this, inhaling nostrils, exhaling through a rounded mouth. And then we're going to repeat that. So we'll ultimately take 8 breaths in through the nose. On each subsequent exhale, we're going to break the exhale up into parts. So the first exhale will be one exhale complete through the mouth. The second time, we will break that exhale into 2 parts. Then the third time, we'll break it into 3 parts, then 4, 5, 6, and 7. After the 7th exhale out the mouth, we're going to then switch and we'll inhale through the mouth and then we'll take the exhale out through the nostrils and we'll ultimately break the exhale up into 7 different parts. So let us begin. It's very simple. You'll catch on, do the best you can. Now, no overexertion. These are just full inhales and complete exhales. No stress, no strain, no bother. The body is still. The awareness is on the breath in the nostril or the mouth. And the focus is at the brow point if your eyes are closed. Or if your eyes are narrowed, just narrow your eyes to beyond the tip of your nose. So let's give this a try, see how it goes. Very simple, very, very calming, very centering, very beautiful way to practice getting into your breath. So let us take a cleansing breath, full inhale. Complete exhale. And then let's begin inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling out the mouth. Find your breath rhythm and work with your breath rhythm. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale out the mouth in 2 parts. Simply break that exhale up into 2. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale out the mouth in 3 parts. Continue inhaling nostrils. Exhale 4 parts through the mouth. Continue inhale nostrils. 5-part exhale mouth. Inhale nostrils. 6-part exhale mouth. And finally, inhale nostrils. 7-part exhale mouth. And, inhale through the mouth. Exhale out the nostrils. Inhale, mouth. Two-part exhale, nostrils. Inhale, mouth. Three-part nostrils, exhale. Inhale, mouth. Four-part exhale, nostrils. Inhale, mouth. Five-part exhale, nostrils. Inhale, mouth. Six-part nostrils. Inhale, mouth. Seven-part nostrils. Inhale through the nose. Gently retain this breath while lifting at the base of the spine, at the pelvic bowl, at the heart. Relaxing the shoulders, tucking the chin. Let everything come to the center of your being. Be very still. And exhale, release your lift, release your breath. Take a cleansing breath, full inhale. Complete exhale. Just allow the breath to come and go. Be very still. Just notice your experience. Notice what shifted for you. Notice the effect of that very simple practice, 16 breaths. And have a profound change in your regulatory state. Be still. All right. Take a cleansing breath here. Full inhale. Exhale. Adjust anything that you need to prepare for our next breath, which is going to be an activating breath. We're going to have a circular breath. So the breath will be, actually, we'll work it in pieces. We'll work into it. So we're going to, and we'll do this in three parts. The first part will be to inhale through the nostrils and exhale out the mouth. And as we do the inhale through the nostrils, we'll take the hands to the knee. And as you inhale, we'll slide the palms up the thighs to the hip girdle while lifting through the crown and opening through the heart. Heart forward. This is your inhale through the nostrils. And on the exhale, we'll exhale out the mouth. And as we exhale, we'll slide the hands back down the thighs to the knees while rounding the spine and bringing the chin toward the chest, tucking the hips under. And we'll just do that. Inhaling, nose lifting, exhaling, mouth rounding. So let us take a moment to center and align and take a cleansing breath to prepare. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale to begin. Inhaling through the nose, sliding the palms up, opening the heart. Exhale out the mouth. Rounding, tucking the chin, pulling back on the diaphragm. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Find your rhythm, your pace, your breath, your practice. Inhaling nose. Exhaling mouth. Full inhales. Complete exhales. Engage here. Get involved. Be in your practice. No stress or strain, but be fully involved. Inhale here. Gently retain this breath while lifting at the base of the spine, relaxing the shoulders, tucking the chin, letting everything come to the center of your being. Be still. Just notice. Be still. Feel into where you have activated and energized. Notice where the energy is in your body. Notice your own experience, what shifted for you. Be in yourself, mindfully aware of your own experience. And as you need to release your lift, release your breath. Take a cleansing breath, full inhale. Complete exhale. And now we're going to reverse that. So the inhale will be through the mouth as we open the heart, and then the exhale will be out the nose as we flex the spine and round. So let's begin. Inhale through the mouth, arching and lifting. Exhale out the nose, pulling back on the diaphragm and releasing. Inhale. Exhale. Find your rhythm, your pace, your breath, your practice. Inhaling mouth, exhaling nose. Fully engaged, without an ounce of extra effort. Full inhale. Gently retain this breath while lifting at the base, relaxing the shoulders, tucking the chin, being very still, feeling into your experience. Notice again where the energy now is. See if you can relax the shoulders a little more. See if you can lift from the base a little more. Engage that root block. Be very still here. Tuck the chin. Feel the energy at your being. As you need to release your locks, release your breath. Take a cleansing breath, full inhale. Complete exhale. And now we're going to put those two together. So we'll have a circular breath. So we'll inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the mouth, exhale out the nose. Beginning inhaling nose and arching and lifting. Exhale mouth, rounding and releasing. Inhale mouth, arching and lifting. Exhale nose, rounding and releasing. Find your rhythm. Your pace. Your breath. Your practice. Circular breath. Very present, very still. Very engaged. Inhale. Gently retain this breath while lifting. Engage your root lock. Lift at the base of the spine. Relax the shoulders. Tuck the chin. Be very still here. Notice where the energy is in your body, how the energy is in your body. Be aware of your energetic response. Feel into the shift in yourself. And as you need to release your lift, release your breath. Let everything come. Cleansing breath here, full inhale. Complete exhale. And just take a moment to let the breath restore to whatever is normalized pace is. Just let the breath come and go. Release any shaping of the breath, of the body, of the mind. Just be still for a moment. Simple little practice there. 15 minutes or so. Breath work can be profound in the effect on our being. On your next inhale, take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, bring yourself around onto your mat. We're going to begin today in our child's pose or wisdom pose. So bring yourself down onto your mat. Bring your knees together underneath your hips. Press your hips back toward your heels. Now, you have a choice here in where you want, how you want your legs to be. So you may decide you wish to take your knees wide so that your torso can fall between the thighs. You may wish to have a block here to support your head, forehead, or chest. Your choice. But you're going to bring your chest down toward the mat, your forehead toward the mat. The other option is to keep the knees together at the level, in alignment with the hips, and let the torso fall on top of the thighs, again, bringing your forehead toward the mat. Your choice, whatever is most supported for you. At this time, our hands are long, and we're going to pop up on our fingertips and walk our fingers out a little bit so we feel the length along the underside of the arm. And then we're going to press into the fingertips to press our hips back toward our heels so that we feel perhaps our heels and our buttocks make contact. And then we're going to release and just take a breath here. Full inhale and complete exhale. On your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands over toward the wide side of your mat on the left side of your mat, bringing your forehead a little bit toward your left knee, creating a little space on that right side of your body, feeling the opening along the right side of the body. A little twist here. Very gentle, very open, just finding some space. You take a breath here. And then let it go. And then inhale, walk our hands back to center. And again, get long, lengthen through the fingertips. And then as you inhale here, and then as you exhale, walk your hands over toward the right side of your mat, maybe coming off the mat, maybe not. Finding a little space as you bring your forehead toward your right knee and opening up the left side body. Little arch in the left torso. Breathing down into that left hip. Breathing here, full inhale. And complete exhale. And then inhale, walk your hands back to center, get long through the fingertips. And then exhale, just press your hips back toward your heels for a moment. And then just take a moment here to release your hands back by your feet, palms up, so that your shoulders release, your forehead fully releases, the lower back is released here. And just take a breath here, full inhale. And complete exhale. And then on the inhale, take the hands long, walk your fingertips out, and then continue to walk your fingertips out as you bring your hips up over your knees. And then walk your hands in a little bit so that they're underneath and just slightly in front of your shoulders. This is our tabletop posture. Take a breath here. Feel into the length in your side body as you lengthen through the crown. And just notice what it's like here. Then we'll engage a little bit here. So on the inhale, I invite you to simply take your right arm and extend it bicep by the ear, thumb up. And notice how you engage through the core here now. You feel a little bit of this. So you're pressing up through that left palm and then back through the hips and long through the crown and long through the right fingertips. Just feeling length here. And then exhale, bring your right hand back down. Establish yourself here with a breath. And then on your next inhale, I invite you to take your left arm long, bicep by the ear, thumb up. Again, feel that same engagement through the core, but maybe notice a little different here because your hips may tell you the truth here. Your hips don't lie, as somebody once said. Your hips will tell you the truth about your alignment, and you're not perfectly symmetrical, and it may be very different on one side than the other. And just notice how that is for you as you take a breath. And then exhale, bring that left hand back down. And then let's extend long by walking the hands out in front of you, maybe coming down onto your forearms, or maybe even walking your hands out even further, bringing your forehead to the mat, or maybe if you have the flexibility, maybe your chest comes to the mat. If you can, maybe walk your fingers out so that your forearms are no longer on the mat. You're now lengthening through the underarm and releasing. The hips stay high over the knees. This is our heart melting pose. We're going to take a breath here and let it go. Then on your next inhale, begin to walk your hands back underneath the shoulders, maybe slightly in front of if you want that length. And then we're going to work the hips. So on the inhale, we're going to take the right foot back and press initially, just roll to the ball of the right foot and lift the right knee. Press back through the right heel as you lengthen through the crown and feel the length in the back outside of that right leg. Breathing here. And then on your next inhale, lift that right heel, perhaps level with the hips, shoulders and crown, and then point the right toes toward the wall behind you. Take a breath here, full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your right knee back down. Reestablish with a breath here in your tabletop. And then we're going to go to the left side. So we're going to roll initially over the ball of the left foot. Just roll over the ball of the left foot, lift the left knee, and press back through the left heel as you lengthen through the crown. So you're feeling that length in the lower back and back along the outside and back of the left leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you inhale, maybe lift the left heel level with the hips, shoulder and crown, and press the left toes toward the wall behind you. Inhale here. Exhale. A full inhalation. And then as you exhale, bring that left knee back down. All right. Take a breath here. All right. Now we're going to begin to work the hip the opposite way. So what I'd like you to do is see if you can do this any number of ways. Maybe you want to extend that right leg back first, or maybe you just want to pick up that right knee. But you're going to ultimately bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then help it if you need to. And then maybe just angle your toes slightly off the mat to create a little space for yourself. And then find this posture first. So what I'd like you to do first is lift up. So press up on the fingertips. Maybe even press up out of your hands. I'm sorry, I can talk. Maybe just pick up your hands. So you feel a little bit of engagement in that left thigh. Right? And then maybe from there you can lean in. So you're pressing down into the right heel and down into the left knee. So your hips are coming down and forward. I think about bringing my left hip toward my right heel. And then if you need support, you press your hands. And maybe you even have the ability to walk your hands out a little bit. Maybe if you use your block, my block for support, maybe you can actually bring your forearms down onto a block. But you're working into that right hip and across the groin here. We're opening the hip, breathing here. Take a full inhale and a complete exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale here. Exhale here. If your arms are out and down, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press up and back with that left hip. So you're bringing that left hip back up over the knee. And then step your right foot back. Take a little movement if you need to shake that out in your hip, and then bring your right knee back underneath. And we're going to move to the other side. So however you need to get there. Initially, you're going to pick up the left knee, and then ultimately you're going to bring the left foot outside the left hand. And maybe Find this side, you need to help it a little bit. Turn your left toe slightly out. Press up initially and back so that you feel a little length in that right hip. And then engage down, bring the hips down and forward. You're feeling into that opening. Maybe you roll a little bit to the outside of that left foot. And again, maybe you walk your hands out. Maybe you notice this side's different and you find you can find your forearms on the mat or on a block on this side for a moment here as you deepen and stretch in your hip girdle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale here. Exhale here. A full inhalation. A complete exhale. On your inhale, if your arms are out, you're going to walk them back underneath the shoulders, press the hips up and back a little bit, and then release that left leg. Using any movement you need to shake that out, noticing the different one side or the other, come back to your tabletop. Inhale here, get long through the crown. Exhale, curl the toes and press back through the ball of the foot and the heel. And you'll notice as you press back, your hips will want to move back, your hands will engage, and then you'll feel the knees perhaps begin to lift. Just experiment with that. Hanging table for a minute if you like. Inhale here, and then exhale. Lift the hips toward the ceiling. Let the crown of the head drop toward the mat. Press the chest and stomach back toward the thighs. Release the heels toward the mat. Come into your first downward facing dog. Take a full inhalation and a complete exhale. On your next inhale, bend your right knee, press back through your left heel. Feel that length in the back of the body, in the back of the left leg. And then on your next inhale, switch. Bend your left knee, press back through the right heel. Chest and stomach moving back, and you feel that length in the back of the right leg and back side of the body. Breathing in and out. And then on your next inhale, you'll bend both knees and lift the hips high and back toward the wall behind you. And then release both heels toward the mat, feeling the full effect of your down dog. Take a full inhale and a complete exhale. Now, check your alignment by inhaling to a plank. And if you had to adjust your hands and feet, now you're adjusted and now you're where you need to be. And then exhale, press back into your downward dog. Full inhalation. Complete exhale. Now, as you inhale, you're going to look up between your hands. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring that right foot outside that right hand again. Now, you have the option here to drop the left knee in the top of the left foot, going back to where we were originally in our supported lizard pose. Or you can keep that left knee lifted. And again, press up through the hands and back through that left heel to feel that. And then on the exhale, drop those hips down and then bringing it toward that right heel. And if you like, walk your hands out. Drop your forearms to a block or to the mat. Breathing here. Breathe in. Breathe out. On your inhale, walk your hands back underneath the shoulders. Press up and back a little bit into that left heel. And then step your right foot back to meet the left, coming into your downward dog. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale here. On the exhale, look up and then bring your left foot outside your left hand. And again, if you like, drop the right knee in the top of the right foot or stay lifted. Press up through the hands and back through the right heel. Feel the length through the groin and then drop the hips down and in. And maybe walk your hands out and come down onto your forearms. supported or not, breathing here, feeling into this wonderful hip opening. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back underneath the shoulders, lift and press back, and then step the left foot back to join the right, downward facing dog. Full inhalation. Complete exhale. All right, on the inhale, you're going to press the right heel back toward the wall behind you, as if you could stamp the wall, and then flex the toes toward that wall behind you, and then lift the left leg high. Three-legged dog. Full inhale. Complete exhale. On your next inhale, stack the hips. So rotate the torso to the right, stack the hips, bring the right knee toward the ceiling and the right heel toward the left hip. Breathe in, full inhale. Breathe out, complete exhale. Inhale, level the hips, extend the right leg high. And then on the exhale, bring the right knee toward the right wrist. Place the right knee down behind the right wrist, and then see if you can bring your right foot over toward your left wrist. So we're coming into a pigeon. We're finding this posture first. If you can, bring the right knee outside the right wrist, even maybe off the wide side of your mat. And then drop the left knee in the top of the left foot. Walk the hands back and up. If you need to, take a block here. And maybe bring your hands to a block at whatever height is appropriate for you, finding that place of opening. And then we're working in the hip. So what we want to do is, once we've established that place, maybe we take a little step back with that left foot. We inch the left knee back a little bit to create that leveling in our hips. And then as we find this position of support, maybe we bring our block down. Maybe we walk our hands out on our mat. Maybe we bring our forearms down to our block or even to the mat, finding our expression of the posture. The hips are level. So if you're having trouble with that hip, take your block underneath that hip to support it. Breathing into this beautiful hip opening posture, king pigeon posture. Breathe in here. Breathe out here. Full inhalation. Complete exhale. On the inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. If you inched your hips back, inch that left knee and hips a little bit forward, press into the ball of the left foot, lift the left knee, and then press up so that you can release that right leg. Take it back high, extend the leg, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. On your next inhale, take your right knee toward the ceiling, the right heel toward the hips, stack the hips, rotate the torso, look up under that right armpit, breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, level the hips, extend the right leg. Exhale, bring your right foot down and find your downward facing dog. Full inhale, complete exhale. Notice perhaps how different the two hips feel at this point. All right, on the inhale, we're going to press back through the left heel towards the wall behind us as if we could stamp the wall. Point the toes, and then lift the left heel and leg high. Three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. On your next inhale, lift your left knee toward the ceiling, your left heel toward your right hip. Rotate your torso, look up under your left armpit. Breathe in, full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale, level the hips, extend the left leg. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the left wrist. And then maybe even outside the left wrist and maybe even off the mat, bring your left foot towards your right ankle underneath the body. Drop your right knee in the top of your right foot. Press up and lift up to establish your hips and feel your way into your hips, and then maybe inch that right knee back to level the hips and find your supported posture. Stay here, or if you like, begin to walk your hands out, maybe even coming down onto your forearms on your block, or even on your mat, feeling into this beautiful posture. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale here. Exhale here. A full inhalation. A complete exhale. On the inhale, walk the hands back underneath the hip shoulders. If you inched your right knee and hip back, inch it back forward. Curl the toes of the right foot, lift the right knee, press into the palms and lift the body. Let that left leg extend back long up into three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale. On your inhale, lift the left knee toward the ceiling, left heel toward the right hip. Look up under that left armpit. Breathe in. Breathe out. On the inhale, level the hips, extend the left leg. And exhale, bring the left foot down to join the right downward facing dog. Full inhalation. Complete exhale. Inhale to a plank. And then exhale. Lower down, knees, chest, chin. Come all the way down to the mat. Release the tops of the feet. Release the hands alongside the hips. Turn your left cheek toward the mat. Let the heels fall open. Let the palms fall up. Just take a breath here. Transition here. We're changing to a different posture here. And we're taking a moment to find that peace before we move. From here, go ahead and bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Thumbs right at the breast line. Inside of the wrists, maybe lightly touching the ribs. Elbows moving toward each other and down towards the hips. Crown comes long. The chin may come to the mat. And maybe even the chin lifts. Stay here or continue to press into the tops of the feet. Maybe you feel the knees engage and lift off the mat. Lengthen through the crown. So we're not shaking the head. We're just lengthening the crown. And as we lengthen through the crown, the heart may come up and come forward. Press lightly into the fingertips to support your cobra as you drop your shoulders and elbows down away from your ears. This is your baby cobra or low cobra. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Inhale here. As you exhale, lower the crown towards the mat. Bring the forehead to the mat. Curl the toes. Press into the balls of the feet. Press into the hands and lift yourself back to your plank. Inhale and plank. Press long through the crown and the heels. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale, look up between the hands. Exhale, walk or step or even hop your feet forward between your hands, coming into a forward fold. Release the crown, release the forehead. Feel into this first forward fold, releasing the upper body, releasing any tension. Pick up the hands, maybe brace yourself. Grab your opposite elbows in front of or behind the legs. Bring your forehead toward your shins. Lift your hips toward the ceiling and the wall behind you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale here. Exhale here. A full inhalation. A complete exhale. If you're bracing yourself, release the hands, release the elbows. All right, let's take a moment to prepare to be upright. So first, bring your hands to your palms for support. Brace on the shin. Bring your hands to your palms. That would work. Bring your palms to your shins for support. Straighten the arms on the inhale as you lift the crown of your head to the wall in front of you. Support yourself in this flat back posture. Full inhale. Maintaining that length as you exhale, bring the forehead toward the shins, the crown toward the mat. Inhale, bend the knees to feel the feet engage fully, and then slowly roll your torso upright, one vertebra at a time. As the torso comes upright, the shoulders will naturally roll up and down. The chin will lift parallel with the mat. The palms will turn forward. The crown will get long. Pull your heels toward each other and feel the length through the legs as you get long to the ceiling. This is your mountain posture, standing on your own 2 feet, allowing all the blood flow to change. The heart is now below the head again, and now that blood flow can return. And notice how it feels to be standing on your own 2 feet. Notice what it's like to have your own back. Notice what it's like to check with your heart space for your gratitude and your intention. And then let's just move through a little bit of a sun salutation here. On the inhale, take the arms high, as if you could greet the sun. Now, if it's dark where you are like it is here, the sun is still up there. You're just not seeing it. Inhale, get long. Exhale, press the hips back. Hinge and fold as you bring your hands down. Find your forward fold. Inhale, brace on the shins if you like. Come to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Keep that length. Step the right foot back to a lunge. Step the left foot back to join it. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Come all the way down to the mat. Release the tops of the feet. Lengthen to the crown on the inhale. Press into the tops of the feet. Lift the crown. Come into your cobra. On the exhale, lower the forehead toward the mat. Press into the palms. Curl the toes. Press up into our plank. On the exhale, press back into our downward facing dog. Full inhalation here. Complete exhale. On the inhale, look up between the hands. On the exhale, bring the right foot forward into a lunge. Left foot joins it into a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root and rise, gathering as you go, arms up through tall mountain. Exhale, release the hands. Come back into your mountain posture. Take a breath, check in with your heart space, gratitude and intention. Other side first this time. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, hands beside the feet. Left foot back. Right foot joins it. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Come all the way down. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the crown. Lift the heart. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes. Inhale, press the plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale, look up between the hands. Exhale, left foot forward. Right foot joins it, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root and rise. Exhale, release the hands, roll the shoulders, take a breath. All right, 2 more at your own pace. 1 movement, 1 breath. I'll count the first one. Inhale. Exhale. Flat back. Forward fold. Feet back. Inhale, inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press the plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath, full inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale, look up between the hands. Exhale, feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root and rise. Exhale, release. Mountain posture, take a breath. And continue your rhythm, your breath, your pace, your practice. Find your flow. Sun salutations. Glorious day. Taking a breath in down dog to stabilize. And then continuing on. As you find yourself back in mountain posture, take your breath. Check in with yourself. Notice your experience. And then slowly and gently bring yourself back down onto your mat on your back. Release. Onto your back. Allow your toes to fall open. Take your heels as wide as is comfortable for you on your mat. Bring your palms down by your hips, palms up. And then lengthen the crown, tilt the pelvic bowl, feel the lower spine on the mat. And then as you come into this resting posture, I invite you to provide yourself with any additional support that you may want in this posture. Maybe you have an eye cloth. Maybe you have a blanket or a shawl. Maybe you have a bolster. Anything that will provide you perhaps 1% more support. I encourage you to take advantage of that right now and find yourself. And then your task here in this posture is to let go, to feel yourself, the full back side of your body being supported. And I heard this yesterday. I had an opportunity to take a class with a renowned yoga teacher, and one of the things the teacher said was to see if you could find that space that perhaps you recognize, that moment where you're just slipping off into sleep, that moment that feels like freedom, like stillness, like letting go, loosening or loosing the binds of your earthly self. And I thought that was an interesting way to approach this particular posture and this particular part of the practice. See if you could mimic or feel into or find that moment that feels just like when you're about to release into sleep. Whatever that feels like for you, maybe it feels a little bit like another world, maybe it feels a little freeing, maybe it feels a little intimidating to slip away, but maybe that opportunity exists here. And as you're doing that, I invite you to recognize and feel into all of the support that is available to you on the backside of your body. Feel yourself being held, perhaps even hugged or caressed by gravity. Feel yourself sinking into the mat and into the floor, and knowing that you're firmly supported along the entire backside of your body. Your back is supported. We got your back. And then see if from there you can release and let go of any shaping of the breath, any shaping of the body, any shaping of the mind. And allow yourself to just feel into rest. What is it like to rest, to let go? Maybe taking an exhale here and just feeling the full release on the exhale. Maybe just allowing in this moment yourself to be just as you are. And then letting go of having to be consciously in control of everything at every moment, and just allowing yourself to rest. And as you rest here, know that the practice is integrating into your being and healing you at the cellular level, at the physical level, at the spiritual and emotional and psychological level. Know that you're healing across all 5 bodies. Some yogis say we have 5 bodies. Others say we have 10. And we're healing across all those bodies here, just allowing. And whatever it is that you're experiencing here, allow yourself to go with it for the next minute or so in the awesome power of silence. And if perchance you notice that your attention has wandered away, I invite you to bring gratitude to that noticing, and then gently and compassionately return your focus to your breath. On your next inhale, I invite you to begin to reacclimate with your body, perhaps wiggling your toes and your fingers, maybe rotating your ankles and your wrists. And then continuing to reawaken and reacclimate on your next inhale, I invite you to bring your knees toward the ceiling, your heels toward your hips, and to extend your right arm alongside your head. Take a moment here to prepare to roll to your right side. And when you're prepared, and only when you're prepared, there's no hurry, there's nowhere to go, we're already here. When you're ready, gently and softly roll to your right side. Let your right arm cradle your head and neck as a pillow. Take a moment here on your right side to prepare to be upright again. And again, when you're prepared, and only when you're prepared, I invite you to bring your left arm in front of your torso and help use your left arm to help leverage yourself back into a seated posture. And as you come back into your seated posture, reestablish your supports in your seat. Find yourself in your supported posture. Reestablish that lengthened and elongated spine. Reestablish that connection with the breath. And then on your next inhale, I invite you to once again float your hands to your heart in a way that brings awareness to your heart space, and to allow to arise in your heart space perhaps one additional thing for which you might be grateful now. And as you witness yourself seated in gratitude in your space, I'll take this opportunity to extend my sense of gratitude to you from this space. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your practice. I'm honored to be here, truly. And as always, in closing, I invite you to stay here in grateful witness for as long as you like. And when you do finally rise, please take your gratitude and the echoes of your practice with you as you go through the remainder of your day, lifting yourself and all that you come into contact with. Have an amazing day.